Hello again, and you're very welcome to Fashion and Lifestyle. I'm Angie Sutherland, and we're delighted to be bringing you another exclusive on Fashion and Lifestyle. We're here today in Dublin, and we're delighted to be joined by Master Tailor Louis Copeland. So I'm delighted to be joined now by Master Tailor Louis Copeland. Thanks for joining us, Louis.
Pleasure, thank you.
So tell us a little bit, how did you get into the tailoring business?
Well, my father started the business back in the 50s, and I went to technical school for tailoring and textiles, and kind of fell into the business. I went to work in a workshop myself, and then kind of came in here and worked in the workshop and worked from there.
Great. And of course now you've got how many shops?
We've about 7 shops now, so spread around Dublin and one in Galway.
Okay. And your son is involved in the business as well?
Yeah, my son Louis, and he has a son called, what do you call it, Louis. So it's kind of a few Louis now, and he runs the Gant shop in Dundrum and the Louis Copeland shop in Dundrum.
Okay, so tell us then a little bit, Louis, from scratch, how do you create a suit?
Well, most of our suits now would be off the peg now, so we would kind of buy in the different brands and things like that. But we do kind of make our own suits as well. So we kind of, when we're getting them made on the continent, we would kind of source the fabric, we would source the styles, we would go to the factories and discuss kind of fits and to suit the Irish market, and from that we create suits.
Okay, and I see that you've got some nice famous people here on your photographs. Who have you dressed?
We've dressed a few people, I suppose. Pierce Brosnan is one. I think he probably is the icon of clothes. I mean, if you look around the few photographs, but I have to say, probably the most important people are the ordinary punter, that customer that comes in. They're the ones we like to look after, because they're our bread and butter. And
of course you love the pinstripe, and I wore this specially for you today.
I've noticed that, and I'm glad to see you're wearing the stripes. Stripes sometimes, yeah. I like plains, and obviously the Irish consumer, Irish kind of complexion is probably more geared toward darker clothes, because in Ireland we don't have the lovely weather that they have in the continent. So I think darker clothes suit Irishmen a bit better.
Okay, and what about fabrics? What do you like?
Fabrics, what do I like about fabrics? I like substantial fabrics they're going to wear, because when somebody gets a suit, they want something that's going, if they're wearing for work, they want something that's going to hold up and going to hold the shape. So that's important. Obviously, pure wool fabrics.
Okay, and do different seasons have different styles, or is a suit a suit?
A suit is a suit, we think, but every season, there's little changes that the eye can't really, the ordinary eye can't see. But I mean, it goes out, some season goes out, trousers get wider, and then they come back in, and gradually, all the time, it's evolving all the time.
What's your take on the 3-piece suit? I love the 3-piece suit on a man.
Do you? Okay, well, I think it's very, a 3-piece suit looks fantastic. Doesn't always work when you're in work, because you can get a bit tied up. But I mean, I think for weddings it's very popular now. I mean, especially on the continent, people going, say, to Spain or Italy, and they can wear the suit, and then when they can finish, they can take the jacket off, and they still look cool.
It's so dressy, isn't it? It really sort of finishes off the outfit, I think.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And a lot of Irish people now are wearing 3-piece suits now, especially for weddings.
So I suppose this is your signature shop here in Capel Street, and it's lovely. I love the wood and the panelling and everything. How long has this shop been here?
Well, we've been in Capel Street for the last 50, since the 1960s. My father, lived in Capel Street, and he had his workshop here. And we moved up to this shop from the old shop, which is down the road. This was the AIB Bank, and we bought the bank over, so it was nice to be the bank over. Although it was back then.
Could you do any of it now?
I think you might be able to buy a bank easy enough now, yeah.
And then tell us a little bit, you've got your other shops, you mentioned you have one in Galway as well?
We've one in Galway, it's working very well. We've got the Gant shop in Dundrum. We have the one in CHQ, which is down the IFSC. And we have the one in Pembroke Street and one in Wicklow Street.
Great, okay. That's brilliant. I think maybe we'll just have a quick look at some of the stock that you have, and maybe you can talk us through some of it.
Yeah, okay.
Great. We have John now, a member of the staff here at Louis Copeland, modelling this gorgeous jacket. So maybe, Louis, you'll talk us a little bit through it.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is a handmade suit. It's one of our own that we designed. The fabric is from Barbaras from Italy. If you can see the way the lapel rolls, that it's padded underneath there, and that's why it rolls like it's a difference between a kind of a handmade suit and a factory made suit. The little things that make it just that nice. If you look at it here, the canvas, you can pull the cloth away from the canvas, which means it's not fused. A lot of the cheaper suits that part would be glued onto the interlining, right? So, but this is made the old-fashioned way.
So does it last longer then?
Well, not that it lasts longer, but you know you have a good suit on you when you're wearing it, and that's the difference between a handmade suit and a fused suit. Okay. The little small things. If you look at the back there, it's all done by hand there. So as the tailors are sewing that, they're twisting it over the knee, and that's why if you look at the neck there, the way it sits in there, and it never come away from his neck. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lapels are medium width, and you notice it's slightly shorter in the jacket, which is a little more fashionable.
And what colour would you call that?
I'd call that a kind of what we call Kennedy blue.
Kennedy blue.
I think JFK, you always remember him in his blue suit, and we'd always use that as a selling line. We call it JFK blue.
Lovely. Thank you, John.
No problem. Okay.
So, Lou, tell us a little bit about this suit.
Well, this is a typically made-to-measure suit for a wedding day. So you can see it's a three-piece suit. You can see the waistcoat there with a nice little fine lapel on it. Mother of pearl buttons. Now, if you can zoom in on the lining there, it's kind of little wedding messages on the inside of it, right? Okay. And then sometimes people would get embroidery done on the back, underneath the collar, say their initials and the date of the wedding. So there's little things kind of...
It's very custom made.
Yeah, these little things kind of help when you're looking back in the suit, and it's something that they keep forever. Okay. And they can look back on it, right? Yeah. The suit is very fine mohair, very lightweight. This is probably for what people would use if they were, say, in Spain or Italy. Mm-hmm. So very light. Mm-hmm. And then they take the jacket off, and they still have a garment, albeit not a suit, but they'd have a waistcoat which is kind of dressy with the lapel on it.
Absolutely, the waistcoat still makes it informal, doesn't it? Yeah.
So this is typical. You see the ivory coloured tie and the creamy shirt. And
then the handkerchief, is that embroidered as well?
No. Well, it is actually. It's actually part of the pocket.
Oh, okay.
So you pull it up there like that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
That's great. So what colour would you call this then, Louis?
I'd call it an ice blue. Ice blue, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how long would it take to sort of make up something like this?
If somebody come in for a suit made to measure, it would take about 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks.
And it would cost around about 900.
And would a lot of men go for this colour if they were getting married in Ireland?
Yeah, if they were even if they're getting married in Ireland, they'd still go for a brighter colour. So, but I mean, it's not necessarily something they'd wear for work. You know,
they're being optimistic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Louis.
Okay.
I'm talking now with Richard Flanagan from Baumler. Richard, what's your involvement with Louis Copeland?
We supply suits, special construction, high-end luxury product to the Copeland group.
Okay. Do you have some examples you want to show us?
Yeah, this is 3 of the garments that we supply into Copeland's. As I say, they're top-end luxury fabrics, luxury construction, half canvas chest piece, which is an Italian construction, which is specific and unique to the Copeland group. Piece of canvas that's on the front of the jacket, gives it more body, more structure. Workable buttonholes, which is a feature of a bespoke suit. Scandinavian shoulder line, which is a kind of a more sloped, more luxury garment. AMF stitching all around the garment. This is the fine stitching, the kind of tailoring stitching you see on the edge of the lapels, on the edge of the sleeve. And it's just all around a more sophisticated product than your average suit in the market.
Okay. And where are these made?
These are made, the company is originally it's an Austrian company, now they're based in Munich, in a place called, just outside Munich, in a place called Ingolstadt, but the production that they use is in a place called Stiel, which is in Hungary. Okay.
And then maybe show us, you mentioned this one I think as well?
Yeah, we do, this is our contemporary line that we do, which means it's a classic fit garment. It's German merchandise would be considered to be quite square, which is good for the Irish man. The Italian garment is always more kind of fitted and rolled shoulders and all sorts of things, but maybe it's not as kind of commercial as German product. But this particular one here, if you look at this would be just a classic obviously a navy suit, classic fit. We do 2 different fits with the Copelands do. We do a slimline fit and we do a contemporary fit. The slimline is slimmer lapels, slimmer silhouette, close to the body, slimmer legs, where this would be, as I say, your more classic fitting garment, maybe a little bit wider in the leg, a little bit wider in the lapel, more square in the shoulder line, and just an easier, more comfortable fit.
Okay, and then this one?
This is just a different colour. It's a different version of navy at the moment. Over the last couple of seasons, it's been grey. It's been very popular on the market, but now things have changed, and it's very much gone over to navies. So here we have a classic navy, and this garment here would be what we call it kind of. It's an inky navy, so it's still a classic garment. There's nothing kind of weird or wonderful about it. It's still commercial, and that's the kind of progression: navy to ink blue, and maybe it's going a little bit lighter blue moving forward. But at the moment, that's
so the blues are very much still in.
Absolutely, yeah. Greys have kind of subsided to a certain extent. If it was this time last year, there was a silver that sold particularly well for spring, weddings and so forth and so on, but that's been changed now, and now it's more navies and blues, and you can see it like maybe not even in different product lines.
So will the colours change depending on the season?
Pretty much, yeah. We'd have standard colours that we'd carry all year round, the navies and the charcoals, and then from season to season, maybe silvers in spring for weddings and kind of spring wear, and then when we move into autumn it goes darker again, and this is popular at the moment, but colours like this tend to last for maybe a year or two, and then they kind of ease out and they're replaced. So at the moment this is strong, but we see it kind of going more even lighter blue again, where this is always kind of 24/7. We sell navy all day long.
Okay, Richard Flanagan, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So Louis, we're here in your fantastic new shop out in Dundrum.
Yeah, it's we're open. Patrick's Day was when we opened, about 6 weeks ago. It's going very well. Obviously, Dundrum is it's probably the best shopping centre in the country, and will be, I think, for the next 20 years. So we're delighted to be here and to be a part of the centre.
And is that why you picked Dundrum as a location for the new shop?
Yeah, I mean, Dundrum is the ultimate in shopping outside of town. Obviously, we're in town as well, but if you wanted to pick a place to sell, Dundrum is the best place to sell.
Okay, and speaking of selling, do you sell online?
We do. We have a website, and we sell quite successfully online, and it's louiscopeland.com.
Great. And tell us, Louis, I mean, this has been a brave move to actually open a shop in these recessionary times.
Yeah, I mean, in these times, this is probably the best time to open a shop. It's when things are kind of, down there, so you can get good deals, you can talk to landlords, you can talk to your suppliers, if you know your job well, you should be able to kind of make a successful business out of it.
And how many staff do you have here?
In this shop here, we have about 10, 11 staff.
And how many staff do you have altogether?
Never really count them, but I'm saying about 60 or 70 or
60 or 70. That's brilliant in this day and age to be able to employ all those.
And I have to say, people say, what about people changing staff? They don't normally change. The only way they change is go out in a box.
So you must be a very good employer then, Louis, when nobody leaves.
No, they, as I say, the only way they go is in the box.
And fashion shows, Louis, do you do many of them? Do you show at many?
We do. We get asked to do a lot of fashion shows, and we try to do the best shows that's out there. Obviously, you can't show in every fashion show, but the ones that are important we show.
Do you have any coming up that you want to tell us about?
Not on the horizon at the moment, but it comes from time to time.
Keep an eye on the website.
Keep an eye on the website.
Great. So that's www.louiscopeland.com. So Louis, we're here in the middle of the lovely new shop in Dundrum. Very airy, very bright.
Yeah, it's nicely done, isn't it? We kind of very contemporary, with a bit of old-fashioned touches, which is some of the photographs around the place, and you might see the radio there and
the old trunks.
The old trunks. It reminds you of the cruises when you brought the trunks on the ship, the Titanic.
Yeah, Can you imagine carrying those? They were so heavy.
Yeah, unbelievable. So you would have put a lot of clothes in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you've got a few things up and coming.
Yeah, we have a few things up our sleeve. I can't say yet, but it's for young people, and hopefully in a couple of months' time we'll be able to reveal it.
Okay, so watch the website.
And you'll be first to know. And watch the website.
A fashion and lifestyle exclusive by Louis. Thank you very much. So again, it's louiscopeland.com. Thanks, Louis.
A pleasure.
I'm talking now to Paul Butler, who's one of the suppliers here to Louis Copeland. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thank you.
So I know you've got some suits here that you want to talk us through.
Yeah, we do a lot of suits with Louis Copeland. Louis Copeland only wants the best in his stores. So on this particular suit, we only use 100% virgin wool, which means it's never been used for anything else before. A lot of tailoring, you could say wool suits, but wool can mean it could have been a jumper beforehand in a past life. When it has to say virgin wool, well then it's
never been used.
Never been used before. Okay. So, and again, the colours for next season, again, typical for the wedding suits, again, is your blue colours, which is a big for this.
So this would be a typical wedding suit.
Typical, very typical, yeah. And again, also hard wearing for a good work suit too. Yeah.
And what colour would you call this, Paul?
Well, it's like a tonic blue is what we would call it. A lot of variations of blues. I can bamboozle you with colours, but again, we go on colour codes. So yeah.
I like the colour of this one. This is a nice light colour.
This is nice light colour for the spring. Again, very typical for the wedding suits. Again, a little bit more detail with the inner lining, split linings, and also a little thicker pocket detail. So just a little bit more better.
So tell us a little bit about the split linings.
Well, a split lining, it just means it's two-tone, basically. It just livens up the inside of the jacket. Okay. A lot of guys want a little bit more detail going on, whereas before, it used to be quite boring. It used to be just plain black or blue or navy or something like that.
Okay. So it's just a colour thing on the inside?
Thing, basically, yeah. And then it goes into the button detail. Again, a lot more buttons, just small touch details, small details. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. And
Strelson, this has some relationship with Boss?
Well, in the past, yes, we're the Holy Fashion Group, HOLY, and we're one of the biggest manufacturers of suits in Europe. So we produce on the license for like Yope as well, which is a big European brand. Tommy Hilfiger Tailoring, we just passed the license back to Tommy Hilfiger PVH in the States. And yeah, so we're present in 40 countries worldwide.
So where are these made then, Paul?
Predominantly European made. We have our own factories in Portugal, basically, and that's the best place at the moment where all tailoring comes from. Okay. Yeah, and all Italian fabrics, of course.
I was just going to say, what about Italy and all this? Yeah. So you've got some shirts here, I think, to show us as well?
Yeah, shirts. This is a brand called Jacques Brit. It's a German brand. It's one of the higher end labels on the shirting. It's top end fabrics. Basically, it's a unique shirt whereby it performs like a non-iron shirt, but also like a pure cotton shirt. So it's breathable. When you see pure non-iron, it's not a very breathable shirt, so you tend to sweat a lot. Okay. Whereas on a shirt like this has the best of both worlds. So it's a big seller in the continent as well, because on the continent they won't wear non-iron shirts. They have to be pure cotton shirts.
Okay, so obviously for the heat as well.
Exactly, for that reason.
Yeah, we don't have that complaint here.
No, not yet. Waiting for the global warming.
Are you expecting a good summer, Paul?
I am.
And how much would something like this retail for?
Retailing starting from the €100 mark to say 160, 180. So that's where.
Of course, this is the classic check design, almost like cowboy style. Does it come in all different sort of designs?
There is hundreds upon hundreds of variations. So you can choose it without the detail, without button down, small check, big check. There's thousands of combinations. It's just a matter of what the buyer wants to buy into, basically.
Okay. And where are these made again?
They're all made in mostly Vietnam and also in Germany. So we have our own factories then. Like Jacques Brit is part of the Side and Sticker Group, who are the biggest manufacturer of shirts in Europe. We make 23 to 24 million shirts a year. So they know what they're doing. So
are you wearing one at the minute?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for from this very special feature of Fashion and Lifestyle. And don't forget that we're going out online, on the web, in over 200 countries worldwide. We've just gone over 1 million views on YouTube. And don't forget to join us again next week on Fashion and Lifestyle. And I'm Angie Sutherland. Good night.